Hello, hello, hello. We have our tier 1 race today for Saudi Arabia. Uh, nice, fast and narrow street circuit for everyone to contend with 27 corners, 15 to the right, 12, no, 15 to the left, 12 to the right, and a lot of high speed and low speed corners to contend with. Nothing. I have nothing. So our first driver out will be Matt, who's right, reserving for the Williams team today and looking to impose himself on this tier 1 drivers today. So we've also got Frozen out on track as well in the Red Bull today, looking, uh, no doubt, looking to aim for this top 10 group today. Nice little corner cut there as well. Why not on your out lap, I guess? So we've got Squatch currently in the pits. We'll go to him when he's out on track. The McLaren driver here, Gronk, looking very strong going into this race. Uh, Sorry, not too sure on the standings for this division, so let's have a little look. So yeah, we've got Gronk here in the McLaren, who's currently in P2 in the standings, looking to capitalise on the 35-point gap he's got to the Mercedes driver of Lucid, who is currently still sat in the pits as we speak. We've got our first driver in a moment. We will go and find of currently Matt on his first flying lap round here today. So, looking pretty strong through this first sector. He is our first driver to do a flying lap. So, anything hit from here on out will be a nice little benchmark for everyone to try and beat today. So, who else do we currently have out on track? We will have a look in a moment. Currently a 102.4 as we head round the second sector here with MJ. Again, looking very, very strong round here at the minute, being reserving currently in the other tier, his first race in tier 1 for a little while, and looking to set a pretty good benchmark here for our first flying lap out of anyone, and does do a 30.6. Nice strong lap there for the Williams driver. So Gronk is out on his flying lap. He is currently second in the standings, looking good for the minute. We have just had Coach go quickest in his McLaren. What can his teammate do? He does go another 3 tenths quicker with a 28.9. Very good there from Gronk now in the McLaren and looking to capitalise on Lucid, who he is only 35 points behind with 4 races to go, including this one, till the end of the season. So, as we still have our championship leader in the pits. This is Cloud on his opening flying lap and goes P1 with a 28.7. Only just about caught the tail end of that, but did look very strong from there. We've got Michael here on his opening flying lap. We'll come back to him in a moment. We've got Mel in the Red Bull here. Let's look through the rest of his lap. Through Sector 2 on a 107 a minute through the first two sectors. Can he try and close that gap to the cars who are currently of GOAT and Pro Ultra in 7th and 8th? What can Mel do through here? He has backed out slightly of this lap. And let's both the Haas and the McLaren go. Ultra does invalidate his previous lap, but will no doubt try again this lap. He is going again. Does cut a bit of turn one, but does it well within the limits there. Nice leader as well. So we have Michael in his Sauber as we come up to the end of Sector 2 here. Looking pretty good as we come around these fast corners. Sets the quickest Sector 2 of anyone at the minute. And as we come up to the final four corners, some very quick corners as well, as we come up to turn 27 here on this fairly fast and narrow circuit. Very, very costly if anyone taps the wall. Could be an end of a lot of things as Michael goes P5 with a 29.2. Pretty strong lap there. Dave goes P1 looking pretty good in his Aston Martin there. We did unfortunately miss his lap, but we will no doubt see him go again as Michael unfortunately retires on his in-lap. That's not what he's going to want. Matt in the Alpine here with a 29.3, currently on an in-lap or a cool-down lap. Who knows what he could potentially do. We've got Dismal here on his way into the pits, looking pretty strong with a 28.724, only half a tenth quicker than his Ferrari rival of Cloud. Both drivers looking pretty good and pretty close at the minute. We have just seen Mel across the line here with a 29.7. Pretty good lap after his unfortunate first lap he's put out, as Flame goes P1 in the Williams. Seth and Lucid now on their flying laps. This is Seth here with a 144.7. That could just be a banker lap for himself here, but no doubt will want to try again and put a slightly better time in for himself as we go on board the championship leader through the first sector here. Some pretty medium to high speed corners, looking very strong. Not too sure what's going on there as he sets the purple sector 1, looking very, very strong at the minute. Let's go on board Lucid here as we come through sector 2. He is not leaving anything anything really. He's just gone up close to the walls, getting everything he can out of this car, and no doubt will want to try and jump above his championship rival of Gronk, who's currently P5, as Lucid also now sets a second purple sector, coming up through the final two corners now, up into the final corner, and keeping it pretty close to the wall on the exit. And across the line in a moment. What can he put the benchmark to? He does go second fastest with a 28.3. Very good time there for Lucid, and Seth goes up into fourth fastest now, just behind his teammate with a 28.7, looking pretty strong now for both the Aston Martin teammates as well. Lucid thinks that's all he... Oh, actually not too sure what has happened there. Has he unfortunately hit the barriers on his way into the pits? That's going to be costly for the rest of the session for him. Coach now in the McLaren, looking for a slightly higher starting position for himself here, as overtaking can be done, but only in a certain few places down the back straight, mainly as we head into the final few corners of the lap is probably where the best chances are. But no doubt we will see a fair few go for some moves that are unexpected and will surprise a few of us. So as Coach comes into the first DRS zone here, out at the free, he is currently 3 tenths up on his time, slightly behind the fastest sector as well, but looking very strong for the rest of this lap. What can he do from this position? As Frozen in the Red Bull goes P1 with a very, very quick time of a 27.4. We were just about to go on board him, but he has gone and smashed his time there. And Coach goes to P9 with a 29.1, slightly up on his previous time, I believe, but still with 6.5 minutes to go, plenty of time and plenty of things can be done. Let's go on board Frozen for a minute. Looking is, well, has looked pretty strong in his first lap. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough. Does it on his second lap and goes fastest overall as things stand. And looking to probably try and keep hold of that provisional pole at the minute and head into the race with the slight advantage going into turn 1, as it is very narrow for 17 cars to go through. So I believe his teammate is just ahead of him. Of Mel, he is. And on his outlap, looking to improve on his 29.7. Little bit of a wobble on the exit of the final corner. Nice and tight to the apex through turns 1 and 2 there. Nice and tight on the third corner as well, as we head up to this medium speed section that can catch a few drivers out, but you can also go to some extent pretty quickly at some position through there and he has unfortunately lost out on that lap and invalidated it. Squatch is in the pits, the only driver so far not to have set a lap time. MJ currently also in the pits. We've got Vavoda in the Ferrari here on his outlap, just moving over for... unfortunately, Frozen has also invalidated this lap. Not what he would have wanted, but with 4.5 minutes to go, potentially enough in his car to get him back round. And as we go on board Gronk, he does go into the pits for possibly the last time he could come back out. Still 4 minutes 20 to go. Plenty of time for anything to happen in this session. As we've seen before, these guys are pretty quick from previous times that we've seen these drivers. And Mel goes into the pits with his teammate just behind him. It's going to be very, very tight for both of these to get in, but very, very possible for them to get in and to get back out, as Dismal and Exo are both on outlaps. We've also got Vavoda on a flying lap here. Let's have a little look on board him. Looking pretty good through the first sector. Things are not like in that corner at the minute. So as we head up into the first hairpin, So looking very good through there. Not too sure what his first sector time was, but as he heads into second sector, looking very, very good, very strong for this Ferrari driver, and taking this track with some sort of ease coming through sector 2, and it is the quickest so far. The 101.598, that is extremely quick for this track here, and for what has been currently set as well by other drivers. As Voda comes through the final corner, where can he put his Ferrari? Looked very strong throughout the rest of this lap. Can he jump into the top 10? And he goes P9, just a couple of attempts behind his teammate, and looking for a good strong start for both of these Ferrari guys as we go on board. Well, watch Dismal now come through this first sector in his Mercedes car, pretty strong through that part of the track, and taking that very close to the wall, extracting everything he can out of the track and into the car, or gaining as much as he possibly can through this. Has got a little bit of traffic to deal with though with the Ferrari. Oh, there's been contact now between himself and the Williams. Who will that be? That is unfortunately Flame, who just moved over or just slowed down at maybe the wrong time. But that is very unfortunate for Dismal on his final flying lap. We've got Exo here looking, don't know if he got caught up in some of what's just happened, but he is slowing down. Maybe he has got caught up and his lap was possibly ruined as well. Who knows? Hopefully for him, he has enough fuel back in the car that he can go around again. So Cloud now on his, what we can guess is his final lap, as Gronk has unfortunately crashed at the end of sector 1 here. Will we see where he has? Oh, it's just on the exit there of the corner going as we lead into this second sector. So Cloud coming through the second sector here. What will his sector 2 time be? He is 2.5 tenths up on his previous time. He's also set a new qualifying purple sector as well. So as Cloud comes through this final corner, a few drivers are retiring now, unfortunately not being able to do much on their times, and a fair few crossing the line to finish their laps, as Cloud does finish his lap and a little bit slower through the final sector than what he would have wanted to be. So Seth is now P3 with a 27.9, a couple of attempts quicker than his teammate. Ultra coming through the final half of the lap now in the Haas has looked pretty strong throughout his other laps so far. Can he build momentum here for this final corner? Also got MJ, I believe, just ahead in the Williams. Yes, he doesn't quite move up. Does Pro make a damage in the top 3? Not sure. I think he has just gone to P4. Jumped in between the two Aston Martins with a very, very good second lap there for himself and timed pretty well for the end. So as we see there, it does look as if Frozen has got a 5-place grid penalty. That will be unfortunate, so that will knock him down to 5th or 6th. That is a bonus for Flame, Seth, and Ultra here, who will now move into the top three for this race. So drivers are just sorting out their strategy for these 25 laps coming up, and 25 intense lap they will probably be. No concentration can be lost because their race may be ruined if they hit the wall at the wrong angle, but a lot of precision will be needed, and no doubt a lot of these drivers will have that position that's needed around here, and a lot of excitement to come. We'll be back in a moment. So we are here with formation lap with Flame taking us away, followed by Seth, Ultra, Exo, Lucid, Frozen, Dismal, Cloud, Squatch, and Vivova for your top 10, with Gronk, Coach, Matt, Michael, Mel, MJ, and Goatley all taking up the rear of the pack. So halfway round this formation lap, and no doubt a lot of drivers will aim for a one stop here of, let's see what everyone is starting on for this race. So we've got Frozen starting on the softs, we've got Pro starting on the hards, or Mel is also starting on the soft, aiming to try and get through the pack and make possibly an early stop for the hard tyres for both the soft runners, and everyone else starting on the mediums, probably going to go around half distance and either jump onto the hards or the mediums for the race, or for the rest of the race anyway. So, as drivers are lining up for the start of this race, we will have Flame take us away when we have 5 lights out in any minute, any moment now. So there we go, 5 red lights, and away we go for this Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Couple of slow starts from some people. Flame and Seth fighting out for P1 into turn 1, as Flame keeps the lead and heads down into turns 5 and 6 here. Looking very good so far for these two, and a very close battle as well. We jump on board, see how close he really is there, and he's half a second behind as we come up to the end of sector 2. Doing what he can to keep that gap as low as possible, as we do have Ultra just dropping back. He is on the hard tyres and will have a couple of laps to have them warm up. And Frozen has already gained 2 positions off the start. He's currently up into P4 on the soft tyres and trying to do whatever he can to get into that P3 and take that P1 back as quick as he possibly can, going into the first of 25 laps here. Currently 6/10 separates him from the top 3. He is currently flying on these soft tyres as well. So Seth is currently dropping off a little bit here and there from the leader, with Ultra on them hard tyres has picked up a lot of pace already on these tyres. Currently using his hot lap and trying to close the gap pretty quickly. EXO now has dropped a position, unfortunately for him, as Ultra makes a slight mistake there in front and lets Frozen through. Seth with a 3-second penalty for track limits so early in the race, that's unfortunate for him. Looking now, as we are still on board EXO, he's 9/10 behind. Here we go. Strategy is there is a choice of a 1 stop or a 2 stop. Not too sure why you'd go on soft for only a few laps, but it could pay off for, or if anyone does it. EXO dropping off slightly more as we're on board Squatch. Moved up a couple of positions by the looks of this as well, having a strong opening couple of laps for here as well. Looking pretty good so far. He has moved up 2 places. Matt behind him has moved up 5 places so far. Goatley has made the most out of these medium tyres and moved up an impressive 8 spots from the back of the grid. Has made some massive moves in this race so far. Unfortunately, we had to see Lucid dropping a few places at the start of this race and has dropped all the way back to P15. He has just made the move on Cloud and passed him now up into P14. Dropped 9 places so far as well. Not what he would have wanted in these opening couple of laps, but it is a extremely tough race at times for overtaking and not making too many mistakes. MJ now 15 seconds behind, at the back of the pack there. Not what he would have wanted on his tier one in this tier one race, but still a lot of time for him to make some places up. We've got Mel here currently uh, currently around a second off of his Ferrari. I'm sorry, off the Ferrari of Cloud, but looking pretty good or pretty strong still while staying near, trying to stay within DRS of the Ferrari. We've also got Cloud and Lucid fighting out for P14, trying to get onto the back of Coach as well. They will have DRS on him. Coach already drops a place from the Mercedes of Lucid, who's trying to make some moves back up into the top 10. As Cloud makes a move into turn 1, keeps it on the outside of turn 2, does make the move stick, with Coach slightly backing out of that, and both drivers keeping it very well and pretty close together for that small battle that we have just seen there. As we jump back to the top 3 here, all very, very close. Only a few tenths separates the 3 of these drivers. We jump on board the Aston Martin of Seth, and as we head into the middle of Sector 2 now, all 3 drivers looking extremely strong through here. All of both Seth and Frozen will have DRS on Flame. Can Flame hold them both off through these DRS sections? Seth does have the speed and the slight time advantage on Frozen now after 4 laps, as the soft tyres will start to wear a little bit easier. He's just got past both of them as we head into the final corner. Seth and Frozen, Seth and Flame battling out. Is 3 wide here as we go down into the start-finish straight. All 3 of these giving everyone a brilliant battle, as we now have Dismal making his way through the into 4th as well, getting past Ultra for trying to get into the fight for this top for these podium spaces. Now all of these drivers are well within DRS range of Flame here. This is going to be one massive DRS train as we as we get into Sector 2. Dismal makes a small mistake, letting the Haas of Ultra through. They have now dropped slightly off the back, and Dismal looking for the moves again, as Goatley now makes up 10 places into the points. Well into the points now, up into 7th place. Can he make some more moves in this race, try and get himself up into a potential podium spot, as Seth and Frozen have swapped around once again, and Frozen has DRS on Flame. Will he try and make the move into the final corner? Will he hold off on to the main straight? He does hold off this time around, and will have DRS once again, but Seth is right on the gearbox there of the Red Bull. Can Seth make the move into turn 1? Will he try and make the move on both? No, he doesn't. He sits back for another lap, and I do not blame him there. Would have been extremely tight going into turn 1, and we don't want to see any big crashes this early into the race. So as we head on onto Exo here, has dropped a couple of positions from the start, but still 20 laps to go in this race for him to make a couple of moves back into that top 4, with Go slowly making moves. He has gained a huge 10 positions here, and now on the back of the Aston Martin. with Dismal just ahead of them both in the Mercedes, trying to stay on the DRS train of the top four. Not quite enough speed in his Mercedes there to close the gap too much. There is a massive DRS train just ahead of him though, with Ultra sat in the middle of this battle at the minute for P5 and for a top 3 spot. Has got extremely close there to Seth and may possibly going to make this move. Has got his overtake on, not much battery though, not quite enough speed in his Haas there. As Frozen and Flame try and make a nice battle into turn one, not quite what Frozen would have wanted. Has fallen off a little bit now as Seth makes the move and gets past. Frozen does go off track, does keep at the top 3 at the minute, but will need a huge a huge recovery for this lap to try and close that gap from 7 tenths back down to the original 2 tenths that it was a moment ago, as Dismal is trying all he can right now for a trying all he can to get past the Red Bull of Frozen. Tyres are no doubt going to be dropping off anytime soon. They are 7 laps old. The softs are not the longest lasting tyre by any means, but they are the quickest, and no doubt he will try and get these as long as they can so he doesn't have to touch the hards. But anything could be possible round the streets of Saudi Arabia. Not the easiest track to navigate at times, and especially not the easiest. He does jump into the pits now. Does get the is going to be doing an early stop as Goatley now up to P13, trying to make the move on Dismal into the podium spots. Goatley has had a fantastic race so far, up 13 spots from his original 17th place, and has made some fantastic has done a fantastic drive so far to get into the top 4 and a chance on the podium. Has had a little collision there with Dismal, trying to get past, not quite enough in it this time, but will potentially have DRS on the Mercedes driver in a moment if he can just stick with him and maybe potentially stay behind him in a moment. Does turn in slightly early, not what he would have wanted there. Will have DRS here, has got his hot lap on, and will probably breeze past the Mercedes. He does. The Dismal doesn't give up too much of a fight, but will try and fight back in this DRS zone. Did go off track a little bit there, so has cost himself a small amount of time to the RB, as Ultra gets past as well. Out from that small little mess up from Dismal, he has unfortunately lost 2 positions and does gain 1 straight back as Ultra goes into the pits. Exo then is the next person then to get past the Mercedes, who's now up into P4, his original starting position. Goatley up into P3, having a brilliant race still, and now into the podium positions, looking to try and do what he can. Dismal's teammate Lucid now has got up into the back into the top 5 after his earlier after his first lap mess up, shall we say, to dropping down to P15. And now looking to try and get past Exo at any moment he can, possibly within this DRS zone coming up. But Exo is also trying to get the DRS on the 3rd place of Goatley. Exo doesn't quite make it. Dismal does, has the DRS, closed the gap pretty quickly there. has got a lot of speed in this Mercedes and will try and get past Exo on this one maybe. Looking for the move into the final corner in a moment. Does put it on the inside of Exo. Has broke perfectly there. As Exo now will try and fight it back. Will have the DRS. But Lucid looks to have just a bit too much speed in that Mercedes at the minute. Will Exo try and send it in the inside? No, he does hold back. And more than likely a sensible choice there from the Aston Martin driver. Gronk now is also a little bit behind these guys, but still within an earshot of the top 5. 1.3 does separate him and Exo at the minute, but looking pretty strong through this first sector. So up into the first hairpin corner here. Horrible corner at times. Not get it slightly wrong and that could be it, and the rear of the car goes. But most drivers, well, all drivers so far, getting both of them end corners done pretty well so far. As Gronk has dropped to 1.5 behind, has got a couple of drivers behind him with the DRS. Cloud looking very, very strong up in P7 at the minute, has made one position up from his starting place. And DRS wide open again for him. Will he make the move on the Mercedes? They are neck and neck going into the final corner. A little wobble from Gronk. Well, a bit of a slide from Gronk has caused a little bit of damage there to Cloud and a little bit to Squatch possibly, as they both hit, make contact from that resultant slide. As both Gronk and Cloud are in the pits, Lucid had already also jumped into the pits as well, getting the slightly, possibly earlier pit stops done, meaning they will now need to take them tyres a little bit longer than everyone, potentially everyone else. There is a few drivers that stopped earlier than them that were the soft runners, and Michael does get past his teammate Squatch after his little wobble he had a moment ago. Rhoda now up into the up into P7, up 3 positions from his starting place. Has also now got past Squatch. Pretty good move into that left-hander there, and now chasing Squatch's teammate Michael in the other Sauber. He is in a bit of a Sauber sandwich and looking for more than the middle here, trying to get past. Will he try and make the move into this final corner? Does go out wide. Michael does look to defend it and does look up slightly. Goes a bit wide. Has closed the gap slightly though. Will have DRS again into turn 1. Can he have the pace this time around? And they are now both up into the top 4. Voda sending it around the outside. Michael trying to defend it. Oh, Voda has a wobble. Not what he would have wanted on the exit of turn 2 there. As Michael keeps ahead of this particular battle. So let's have a look at drivers' tyres as we head into this midway part of the race. So we have got the top 4 drivers currently all on the medium tyres. Frozen has gone on to the hard tyres a few laps ago when he was on the softs to start the race. Now has a pretty long stint on these hard tyres, so we'll need to make up as much time now. They have just got into, no doubt have just come into play properly as they are 4 laps old. Will have a pace advantage over the top 4 anytime over the next couple of laps. Does look to have a Voda and Michael just ahead of him, so gaining a lot of time already. Goatley has also gone on to the hards, and we are seeing the race leader here of Flame heading into the pits for his tyre change. We've also got Seth and Michael both heading into the pits, which means the Ferrari of Avoda will take the lead and Frozen will be second in this race at the minute. So Flame will come out in the third position, quite a bit ahead of Goatley, but will have colder tyres for that extra lap, which means Goatley can maybe make some moves if he can pick up, or if these tyres come into play pretty quick for him, which no doubt he will be hoping for. Lucid is on 2-lap-old hard tyres at the minute, and they will be coming into play any time from this lap onwards. And he's closed the gap pretty quickly on Goatley as well, looking for that top 4 position as things stand at the moment. So Seth also on fresh hards. He is pretty close at the minute to Lucid, who's on them slightly older tyres, as we head into this top 2 here, and Voda has just lost out to Frozen there with Frozen having the DRS. Will this be Voda's time to pit? Will he go in now, or will he stay out? He has stayed out for another lap. Not too sure that was the best of decisions, considering the tyre advantage that Frozen has at the minute compared to him, and what a lot of other drivers will probably gain on him. He has dropped back a fair bit as well so far already. He's already out of already a couple of corners ahead. No, already a couple of corners behind now, with with Flame quickly closing this gap as well. So Exo dropped down to 9th after the round of pit stops, is on 2-lap-old hard tyres, looking to close the gap on Cloud, Gronk and Lucid, who are all ahead of him and will have the DRS on each other as well. We'll have a nice big DRS train for here. Not what these guys would have wanted, but a lot of battles still to take place between these 6 drivers, I believe it is at the minute. On 5 drivers, sorry. We have Go, Seth, Lucid, Gronk, Cloud, Exo. So 6 drivers all in this battle for the P4. Very close battle indeed. It will no doubt be. So as we head into this final corner, the only driver unfortunately not to have DRS is Seth, but doing very well to keep all of them behind him. So Seth leading these drivers here in P4 all the way down to P9 at the minute, and a pretty close battle between these drivers. Anyone could take this 4th position. Can they do enough damage on the top 3 though for can they do enough damage on the top 3 to try and make any difference for their own personal races? So Voda is still out on track on these 14-lap-old medium tyres. He's done very well so far to take them this far. So penalties for people so far: Seth has 9 seconds, Lucid has 6, same with Michael, both have he has 6 as well. Matt, Pro, Gronk and Goatley unfortunately all have 3 seconds, as Voda does head into the pits now. So Goatley, Goatley did take the position ahead of Seth a moment ago, but has just re-lost the uh, podium spot now as well. As we headed into turn one, this will be a battle that lasts all race long for this third podium spot, and no doubt will intensify even more so now that these six all know that the podium is on the line. As Dismal has retired from the race, unfortunate for him there. He has done it in the pit lane, so no safety car will be caused. So, Goatley fighting now for this final podium position. An extremely good race for him so far. Started at the back, made up an impressive 13 positions in this race as we go on board. Gronk here with DRS wide open in this little train that we have as well. Has had Lucid overtaken so far as well. Can he get back on? Can he get back ahead of the Mercedes driver? He does make it ahead as well. Looking pretty strong for both of these drivers as they are all now fighting out for this podium, this final spot. Who has the DRS for these two drivers? As Goatley makes the move, that was pretty late, but he made it stick and he made it work. That was an extremely good move there for the Racing Bull driver. Took Seth slightly unaware, but they kept out of each other's way just about. A little bit of wheel contact, but nothing major. As Gronk and Lucid now are both trying to get past as well. This battle for the third position is starting to heat up as we head into the final 8 laps of this race. So let's jump down for this battle for 10th here between Michael and Coach, as both are on the hard tyres. A couple of laps separate them. Michael has 4 lap old tyres, Coach has 5 lap old tyres. As Coach tries to make a move, he is trying to look for it. Can he do it on the outside here? Going into turn 26, and round the outside, will he try? He does make it stick on the outside and ahead into the main straight, but Coach has the DRS, will get straight back past into turn 1, jumps ahead of the Sauber and will carry on this battle for another lap around. Very, very good from these two drivers. They both kept enough distance between themselves for a lot of respect between them two. Unfortunately, I believe Coach just tapped the wall there a moment ago, which made him lose part of his wing. He has lost his left end plate. That's very unfortunate, which means Voda and Squatch will have a chance to catch up to these guys in a moment. They're not too far behind right now. They are only around 3 seconds behind. This could bring these two back into play for this final points position, as Coach now does drop a little bit further back from the Sauber driver. Not what he would have wanted at that moment in time. Could be very, very costly for him as we head into the final 7 laps here. 6 laps in a moment's time. As Frozen is leading this race at the minute. We've not seen too much of him over the past 5 or 6 laps, as he jumped into the lead and has basically led since and done pretty well. Gronk has unfortunately DNF'd and we will have a safety car here in this race, not what the McLaren driver would have wanted at all, as coach has now jumped into the pits for a new wing. So everyone now will need to bunch up behind the safety car in a moment's time. We are on lap 19 of this race. So we've lost Dismal, and now we have lost Gronk as well. But plenty to play for everyone else. What will drivers do? Will they jump in for the soft tyres? Will they stay out on their current tyres? Let's still go on board Frozen and see what he does. Will they be the soft tyres? That is the question for all of these drivers. We've seen Frozen go on the softs. Will we see Flame hit the soft tyres? Yes, we do. Seth hasn't gone into the pits. He is staying out on his hard tyres. That is an interesting call there from the Aston Martin driver. Everyone else jumping in for the soft tyres. Michael hasn't jumped in either. He has also stayed out on the hards. Everyone else, Squatch has also jumped in. Coach is currently just boxed for soft tyres. Will he go in for even fresh ones? No, not this time. And one bizarre incident here. We've just lost Michael from this race under safety car. Very unfortunate from the Sauber driver. Not too sure what happened to him. But definitely not what he would have wanted through that first part of the lap. So pretty much everyone has jumped in for fresh softs. Only MJ and Ultra have gone mediums. And Seth has stayed on the hard tyres for this restart. That could be a game changer for him, or it could be a very bold, well, no doubt is a bold move for the Aston Martin. So Matt has just jumped in to the pits as well now for the soft tyres. Possibly a good time for him to do it, as everyone else will be a couple of laps old. No doubt will still be pretty fresh, but he will definitely have the advantage come by the time the safety car goes in. So we are just waiting for two remaining cars to catch up of MJ and Ultra. So we have got the call that the safety car is in this lap, and Seth will lead us away in any as soon as we get round this corner. Not too sure when he will go, but will definitely be an is that a little bit of contact there from a couple of drivers? Definitely will be an interesting restart here. Seth, on the only runner on the hard tyres, has got a lot of his work cut out. Everyone else on the softs and Ultra on the mediums at the back there. But Seth just gets a warning there, not what he would have wanted in this restart. Frozen Flame, Goatley, Voivoda, all closing extremely quickly now on this Aston Martin, and everyone trying their best. Everyone is just going to be pushing now for these final 4 laps as we head up into the first hairpin. As Seth looks up on them tyres, not what he would have wanted, has a little wobble. Frozen gets past. Flame also trying to have a little look there. We will have no DRS this lap, and there's contact between Frozen and Seth, and Seth goes tumbling down the order. Frozen now does drop down to second, not what he would have wanted. Very unfortunate for the Red Bull and the Aston Martin, but we still have a race going on for the win here. We have got Flame in first, we've got Frozen in second, Goatley looking to make the move on the outside, and Goatley goes up to P2. What a race he has had so far, from the back of the grid onto a podium at the minute. Frozen down to third, Cloud up into fourth, we've got EXO in fifth, looking to have a very exciting final few laps as Coach makes a little bit of a dive, but sort of pays off, does get ahead of Lucid there in the Mercedes. Lucid looking to make the move straight back but doesn't quite make it work, is still behind the McLaren driver and pushing his heart out for a top 6 finish. Has a little wobble, doesn't make too much of a difference, has dropped slightly behind. Ultras has unfortunately DNF. We do have a yellow at the end of sector 1 into sector 2 there, but it's not too much of a worry for some of these drivers as they were all past it at that moment in time. So top 3 battle here. We've got Goatley, Flame, Frozen. We've also got Cloud joining the mix for a podium position. We have a 4-way battle here for the win. We have a 4-way battle here for a podium position, looking for a brilliant final 2 laps. We've also got EXO making little strides in the background there with the McLaren and Mercedes, both in the background, all looking for a podium position or the win here. We've got Goatley and Flame battling it out all the way round the first 2 corners. Excuse me, sorry. And Goatley is trying to make moves. He is trying to win this race right now. He has had a fantastic drive to go from last to second currently. We'll go on board the RB driver here. We'll see how he does through this final few laps. And we've just had Mel unfortunately have a little incident there at the back, down to 12. Goatley looking to make the move. He does make it into this DRS zone. Flame has a wobble. Will let Frozen come up alongside him now. Both drivers have DRS on DRB. Flame has the advantage there. And now does stay P2. Frozen stays P3. These 3 drivers are having a brilliant battle right now. What will Goatley do here at the front? He does go to the outside, and it does let Flame go to the inside there. They have some they have a bit of wheel banging there. Goatley has the DRS on flame this time around and goes speeding past. Frozen with DRS as well, looking to make the move around the outside of the Williams driver. They make it stick. Oh, that was extremely close from both of these drivers. They do it brilliantly to not make any contact there as well. This has been a fantastic battle here for the top 3 positions. We've got now Lucid up into P4. Now definitely on the prowl to take the win in this final lap. Cloud and Exo as well are both at the back here. Got Coach as well, just having his, just watching all of this unfold from the back here in P7. He is in contention, but will need an absolute masterclass to get through. And now he's unfortunately running out of fuel. That's unfortunate for the McLaren driver. But heading into the final half of this lap, we're on board Exo here. DRS wide open, looking to make some moves up into top 5. Not quite. Oh, we've got some contact there. Is Frozen just taking a bit of a clip out of flame there? As we head into this final DRS zone, into this final corner. Flame makes the dive on the inside. Can Goatley make the move back? Not quite this time around. They will go side by side going into this race. Final sprint to the finish. That was a fantastic battle for P1 there. Goatley did cross the line first, but unfortunately with his time penalty drops to P4, which means Flame will inherit the win there. Fantastic battle between him and Goatley on them final couple of laps. Frozen will take P2. Exo up into P3. Perfect race for him in the end. Goatley all the way from last on the grid to cross the line first to finish 4th. Brilliant race for him in the end. Cloud in 5th. Squatch will finish 6th. What a brilliant race overall in this Tier 1 Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Goatley has been given driver of the day by the game, and to be honest, rightfully so as well. Absolutely fantastic race for him. Brilliant drive for the RB driver. So we will have Squatch in 6th as well. Brilliant drive for him in the end. Lucid are the championship leader for Tier 1. Unfortunately, dropping a couple of positions, finishing 7th, but still a pretty good race overall for him in some tough conditions and some tough battles that he was in. Coach finishes 8th. Matt finishes 9th. MJ finishes 10th. Good race for him overall in the street circuit. We got Vivoda finishing 11th in the end, Mel finishing 12th, Seth 13th, Ultra in 14th, and I believe, yeah, he unfortunately did DNF towards the end there, but still classified because he, I believe, because he finished most of the race. And then, unfortunately, our other 3 DNFs of Michael, Gronk, and Dismal. Unfortunate races for them guys, but still 3 races left of the season, and plenty for them to do. So, thank you everyone for watching. This has been Bucko and your Tier 1 commentary for Saudi Arabia and for CanAm. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye bye.